cherry tomatoes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everyone grows tomatoes. Tell me something new. But here's what most people get wrong about them in pots, and it's costing them half their harvest. First, pot size matters more than you think. Your absolute minimum is a 5-gallon pot for compact dwarf varieties. Go smaller than that, and you're basically starving the roots from day one. Here's a trick most people skip. Bury the stem deep, up to 2/3 of the plant. Why? Because tomato stems grow extra roots along the buried section. More roots, more water absorption, eggs more fruit. It's that simple. Now, the numbers. In urban balcony trials, growers harvested over 40 cherry tomatoes from just 4 plants in tight spaces. And if you pick an indeterminate variety like Tumbling Tom or Husky Cherry Red, you're getting a continuous daily harvest from around day 60 all the way until the first frost. One more thing. Stop adding Epsom salts if you're seeing blossom end rot. I'll explain why that actually makes things worse in a bit. Trust me on this one. Peppers. Peppers. And these are secretly one of the most underrated container crops out there. Peppers naturally have a compact, fibrous root system. They were practically made for pots. A standard 5-gallon container handles them perfectly. Even a 3-gallon works for smaller hot pepper varieties. But here's the productivity secret that most people miss. Harvest early, harvest often. The moment you pick a pepper while it's still green, the plant immediately starts producing new flowers. Leave it on too long, and the plant basically thinks its job is done and slows down. Professional growers report getting dozens to over 100 peppers per plant in a season just by staying on top of harvesting. Shishito is the absolute king here. Rapid fruit set, compact growth, and incredibly productive. If you want a jalapeno vibe, Potapeño was literally bred for containers. Cascading habit, beautiful plant, ridiculous yields, and unlike what you might have heard, you don't need multiple plants for pollination. Peppers are self-pollinating. One plant in one pot will produce just fine. Dwarf eggplant. Dwarf hybrid eggplants are a completely different beast from what you're imagining. Varieties like Patio Baby, which is actually an All-America Selections winner, grow to just 16 to 20 inches tall. No staking needed, no cages, sturdy little plants. And the yields? 25 to 50 fruits per plant over an 8 to 12-week harvest window, starting as early as 45 days after transplanting. The key with eggplants is warmth. They hate cold soil. Don't transplant them outdoors until your soil temperature is at least 50 degrees. Put them in cold ground, and they stall permanently. But get them warm and happy? They'll produce more than you can eat. Fabric grow bags work especially well here. They keep the roots warm, prevent waterlogging, and help with airflow. If you haven't tried fabric pots yet, eggplant is the perfect reason to start. Bush cucumbers. Bush cucumbers in pots, and the results are genuinely wild. Standard cucumbers. Way too viney, way too demanding. But bush varieties like Space Master only grow 2 to 3 feet long. They fit in a 5-gallon pot, and they start producing in 50 to 60 days, consistently pumping out crisp, full-sized cucumbers for 6 to 8 weeks straight. But here's the rule nobody talks about. Harvest every single day. Leaving a mature cucumber on the vine sends a chemical signal to the plant. Mission accomplished. Stop making more. Your harvest season ends early. Pick daily, and the plant keeps going. One more pro tip. Cucumber roots hate being disturbed. Don't start them in seed trays and transplant. Direct sow into the final container. If you must start indoors, Use biodegradable pots that go straight into the soil. That's how you get maximum germination and zero transplant shock. Add a small trellis or cage. It keeps the fruit off the soil and cuts down on powdery mildew dramatically. And real quick, I actually made a free printable container gardening cheat sheet for this video. It includes exact pot sizes, harvest timelines, best performing varieties, common mistakes to avoid, and all the key tips from this video in one simple guide. I uploaded it free inside our WhatsApp gardening channel because a lot of people asked for something they could save on their phone while planting. The link is in the description. Join the channel and download it free before you start planting. Bush zucchini. Zucchini in a pot. I hear it every time. But modern compact bush cultivars like 8-Ball and Raven have completely changed the game. In a real balcony experiment in Chicago, one 8-Ball plant in a 7-gallon fabric pot yielded 7.2 pounds of zucchini in just 58 days. One plant, one pot, 7 pounds. Go with a 10 to 15-gallon container. That's the sweet spot. Anything smaller, and you'll see flower abortion rates jump 40 to 60%. The bigger the root zone, the more fruit you get. Simple math. There's one thing unique to zucchini that urban growers often miss: hand pollination. Balconies don't always have bees visiting. Between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., when the flowers are open, just take a male flower, touch it to the center of a female flower, the one with the tiny fruit at its base, and boom! You've just done the bee's job. Without this step, female flowers will just drop off. Swiss chard and kale. Let's talk about the marathon producers, Swiss chard and kale. These are your plant once, harvest forever crops. Both are cut and come again vegetables. You harvest the outer leaves, leave the center intact, and the plant regrows over and over and over again. Professional growers say just 2 pots of Swiss chard can supply an average household with fresh greens for an entire season. Kale is even more impressive. It's cold hardy enough to keep producing through winter, and the flavor actually gets sweeter after a light frost. Harvest Red Russian or Lacinato. Kale from a simple 5-gallon grow bag from summer all the way through January. The secret to keeping both plants productive? Nitrogen-rich liquid fertilizer every 2 to 3 weeks. These are leaf crops. They need nitrogen to keep pushing out new growth. Fish emulsion or compost tea works perfectly. Leaf lettuce and radishes. For anyone working with the absolute smallest of spaces, a windowsill, a railing planter, a hanging basket, leaf lettuce and radishes are your best friends. Lettuce roots only go 4 to 6 inches deep. A single window box can give you a fresh salad every few days for weeks. Just pick the outer leaves, leave the center growing, and it keeps coming back. Radishes are the speed champions of the vegetable world, ready in just 21 to 28 days from seed. Sow a new batch every 2 weeks and you'll have a continuous supply all spring and fall. Just don't over-fertilize with nitrogen. You'll get huge leafy tops and 0 radish bulbs underground. Bush green beans, last on the list. But absolutely not least, bush green beans. Compact, self-supporting, and they produce a concentrated wave of tender pods starting around 50 to 55 days. Blue Lake 270 Patios is the proven champion here. Virginia Cooperative Extension trials showed it achieving the best germination rates and highest yields out of all standard varieties. 2 things to remember: direct sow only. Bean roots are extremely fragile and hate transplanting, and beans fix their own nitrogen from the air. So don't fertilize them with nitrogen-heavy feeds. You'll get a huge green bush with 0 pods. Practice succession planting. Sow a new pot every 2 weeks through summer, and you'll have fresh beans all season long.